Brother Marine. We have returned again today for another Warhammer community article. That's this one right here. 10th edition. Warhammer 40,000. Your answers questioned. Your questions answered. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Got it on the second take. With a new edition of Warhammer 40,000 on the way, it's no surprise that you probably have a few questions. And they have answers. While we can't say too much at the moment, there are some things that we can certainly clear up right now. Wow, wow, wow. Let's check it out. We got this picture here where there's like the Ninja Turtles car. We got some Votans. We got that guy. He's a Votan. They got the buggy, another Terminator. Ninja Terminator. Terminator. Okay, there's clearly something on my mind, and that's Terminators. We'll get to that. But yes, you can see right there. Right, if we zoom in on this image, you can clearly see it's Thursday. So, oh, look at these orcs. I like the new orcs. They're pretty sweet. Hashtag new 40K. Is this a totally new edition? Of course it is. Why would they call it 10th edition? There wasn't a 10th edition before 10th edition. It's a totally new edition of Warhammer 40,000. This question here is entirely irrelevant, but let's unfold and unpack and explore this question, shall we? Let's get this out of the way from the off. Let's get this out of the way from the off. The new 10th edition of Warhammer 40,000. Oh, that's like a link. What happens if I click that? Well, we'll find out. Is a complete revision of the game you know and love. Okay, okay, you know what? I want to click this now. Oh, wait, it's opening a new page. Wait, what? Wait, what? What is this? A mind-blowing new edition of Warhammer 40,000 is coming. English, Francais, Italiano. We've seen a hero return from the pages of history. A whole army of celestial lizards. Wait, celestial lizards? And had a peek at the humans of the mortal realms. But today's biggest news, the biggest news, is the arrival of a whole new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Bam! Yes, a totally new edition of the world's biggest tabletop game is here. That means amazing new models, awesome new rules, and big changes to the galaxy of the 41st millennium. Check out this incredible new cinematic trailer to see fresh horrors and that have emerged to destroy the galaxy. Can we do that? Can we do that on the street? Let's see. What do we got here? All right. Oh, that's like the trailer. Oh wow. Okay. We've got Gilliman.
Victory.
Victory. All right. So that's just the trailer. So we don't need to do that. All right. The lore. Let's check it out. Were you foolish enough to believe that the Hive Fleet Leviathan had been beaten for good at Bale? No, I wasn't, because I have no idea what you're talking about. That was just the Vanguard. Now the rest have arrived and they've evolved. Oh, wow. Wait, what's that? What is that? Is that a Blood Angel? What's going on here? Okay, so we got the new Terminators. Got a new Hive Tyrant? A new Warrior? I don't know what that is. It's a new Tyrannid thing, but it's new but not new. The Imperium, reeling from multiple existential conflicts on too many fronts, is exposed. Oh no. And its main forces are on the wrong side of the galaxy. Leviathan, previously thought humbled, is only just getting started. You see, if you're on the wrong side of the galaxy, you should bring a map so that way you know where you are. The largest hive fleet in history has emerged, swarming across the galactic west, laying waste to hundreds of worlds, unable to muster a meaningful defense in the face of this living apocalypse. New edition. Wait. What's this video going to be? So if that was the trailer, then what's this? What a new edition.
Warhammer 40,000 is the world's most popular tabletop miniatures game.
Okay, see that right there. Undisputed fact. Undisputed champions of the world. Warhammer. Without the full weight of the war machine to call upon, Imperial commanders dispatch elite strike teams in a desperate bid to stem this endless tide of tyrannids. Taking out the synapse leaders will buy precious time for the lumbering might of mankind's war machine to mobilize. And elite for a Space Marine chapter means the first company. Wow, Terminators are back. Wow. Look at that. He's just like an old Terminator. I mean, his fist looks a bit different. It's got like a plate here. There's like a plate, and, you know, I don't really remember there being all these notches. I mean, these ones I remember, sure, but these ones don't quite remember. There's notches now. There are notches now. They've also got dub mags. It's so essential we have to shorten it to dub. And there seems to be something going on with the knees here. These knee pads seem remarkably small. Like I would have remembered them being like that size, but now they're this they're much smaller now. Like there's an extra plate added over top. Not sure what's going on there. So, revealed at Adepticon. Wow. These aren't Primaris Terminators. Wait. These aren't Primaris Terminators. Let's just keep a pin in that. Not even Belisarius Cawl is able to improve upon this ancient and holy armor. Any Space Marine veteran can earn the right to don a sacred suit of tactical dreadnought armor, so veterans of the Tyrannic Wars and the Indominus Crusade alike are clad in these suits of revered ceramite. So, it is a Primaris Terminator. But it's not necessarily a Primaris Terminator. I see what they did there. Games Workshop, you are genius. The models. You better believe it. There'll be new models. There's a massive new launch set on the way, and we might be biased, but we think it's the best Warhammer box ever! Ever the best Warhammer box ever. Better than Indominus. Indominus, previously the best Warhammer box ever. Now, the new box, the best Warhammer box ever. You heard it right from Games Workshop. These boxes just keep getting better and better. Take this absolute unit, for instance. Wow, Terminators are back. Let's see. So when are these coming out? I think I want to get more Terminators now. You know, I think I kind of want to get more Terminators. Leading the assault are the much improved new Space Marine Terminators. These juggernauts of death have been rescaled and resculpted to look as imposing as the lore demands. E-mans. If Tyranids could feel fear, they could fear these guys. Wait, Tyranids can't feel fear? If Tyranids could feel fear... So does that mean that they can't feel fear? Or is this like, hypothetically, since we don't necessarily know, Tyranids may or may not feel fear, and if they do, with that qualifier in mind, they would fear these guys. Okay, that's what that means. See, these are not Primaris Terminators, but they're not Primaris Terminators, and Tyranids may, hypothetically, in theory, feel fear. These are looking pretty good. The new edition also heralds the biggest refresh and update to the Tyranid army ever! The hive mind has been busy, and alongside familiar monsters getting impressive new sculpts, You can also look forward to some ungodly new abominations. The new Termagant reveal. Oh, it's looking good. It's a lot bigger, and it's got more details. He's been working out here. You can see vanguard of a new invasion. Now, it's been a while since I worked on my Tyranids. Those have been sitting in a box for quite a while. What would a Tyranid army be without a swarm of lesser creatures, though? Question mark. Even the humble Termagant is getting quite the glow-up. Wow, they look pretty happy. Like, look at that guy. Like, he looks really, really happy. He's like, I'm getting attention. If you want to get an idea of what else might be included in the new edition's launch set, we suggest you go back and watch that awesome cinematic again. Watch it again. The game. There are some big changes to gameplay, which has been completely overhauled for this edition. Completely. Oh. We started with what the fans were telling us about the game you play. You told us that while Warhammer 40,000 is a fun game. Okay, burn that into your mind. Warhammer 40,000 is a fun game. There are parts that are overcomplicated. And the learning curve for new players is pretty steep. In particular, many felt that there were too many stratagems and too much complexity in army selection. We've listened to the new edition, and it talks to us. We've listened, and the new edition has been simplified, but it's not simple. This is still the rich, deep war game that you know and love. We've just doubled down on the best bits. So instead of a huge raft of faction stratagems, you'll have access to a handful of the best ones. There are also a few new universal stratagems which anyone can use that allow you to be reactive in your opponent's turn. So it's like it's always your turn. You never get to feel left out because you're always able to participate. There are improvements like this everywhere, in turn structure, army selection, morale, terrain, missions, the ways in which the characters interact with units, and more. And more. The list goes on, and we'll explain more about each of these changes in the coming weeks. Wow. What does this mean for my army and my codex? I wonder what that means too, because I want to know what it means for my chapter. The Bloodhounds chapter and the Codex Bloodhounds are going to need to be readdressed for the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. So maybe the biggest changes in the new edition is to datasheets. Brilliant! The way core information on the datasheet is presented has changed. And with it, we took the opportunity to restat every unit in Warhammer 40,000. Are Space Marines going to be Strength 4? Or Toughness 4? We'll find out in the next edition of Warhammer 40,000. Every unit has new and re-evaluated rules, so every army will feel new from day one on the new edition. And then what do we got here? So we got some Ogrins, we got the Tyranid guys, some Tyranids. There's a guy on a horse who's like, I'm just going to stick back here with my horse. Probably a smart move. This huge update has also given us the opportunity to look again at lethality and durability across the entire game, and rebalance at a stroke. Something we could never do outside the launch of a new edition. That is true. Because if you do it in the middle of the edition, which would be an interesting time to do it, it's practically like you're making a new game, wouldn't it be? So it's like you get half of edition. If there's more editions, you get more products, and it's more valuable to you, the consumer. This example will show you what we mean. Let's take a look at what they mean from this example. The Termagant. It moves 6 inches. Its toughness, 3. A 5+ save, 1 wound. Leadership, 8+, and objective control, 2, because that's what OC means. It means objective control, but we'll get to that later. We can see the ranged weapons here with their amount of attacks and the ballistic skill that is required while using it with a termagant. So that is what you would need to use to get to hitting. The strength, the AP, the damage. And melee weapons, Xeno, claws, and teeth. Wow. They use their claws and teeth. And that's what we would have there. So now weapon skill and ballistic skill have been removed from the datasheet and just brought right into the weapons. It's kind of a lateral move, but we'll go with it. We'll see if there's any units that actually have different ballistic skills with the weapons that they're using. I want to see that. You also told us that you didn't want to carry as many books with you to games. That's probably true. On the first day of the new edition, the rules to every datasheet of 40K will be free to download. Free. You know, that doesn't mean that they're not going to come out with books later on with, like, the full rules. I could see that. Yep, there's going to be, here's the free to download rules, where you can build them this specific way, but if you want all the options, they're available to you in the book that you can conveniently buy when it's available as a portable card deck. Are there going to be holographic ones, though? Even your faction and army rules now take up just a couple of pages. Wow. That is simplified, but certainly not simple. The whole experience is more convenient, compact, and efficient than ever before, and it delivers amazing games with less desperate leafing between pages looking for that one special rule. We're all just trying to find that one special rule in our lives. We got the Eldar with some orcs here, and trees. Those are like all the exact, like that tree and that tree, that's just copied and paste. It's even from the same angle. It's the same angle. They didn't even move it in a different angle. That is epitome of laziness. Army selection is equally straightforward. Pick a faction, a warlord, and the units you like. Just no more than 3 of any one type. And stay within your points limit. That's it. That's all it is. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. Is anything more than that even required? That's right. I'm sure there will be an option to play bigger games, grander scales, with millions of points on a side. That will be possible. But it looks like just your minimum requirement is this. And then I guess your maximum requirement would be that, but there's probably going to be a caveat. We'll find out what that is. That's what this asterisk means. You no longer have to fit your army into a force organization chart, or compromise on the army you really want. It's a simple and liberating system. Stand up for your Warhammer rights, and open the door to all kinds of fun, thematic, and unusual armies. These big changes to rules and the armies that would be throughout the Warhammer 40,000 IP mean that the current range of codexes are being retired. And they were just 2 days away from promotion. Codex, World Eaters, we would miss you, but we never met you. The rules in them don't work with the new edition, but remember that the rules of all of your units will be available for free online at launch. Wow, they will be available for free online at launch. Just get them at launch, because they'll be gone a moment later. They'll be selling fast for free. Don't be throwing your codex in the recycling just yet, as well as months of gaming left with the current edition. Your codexes remain a rich repository of lore and inspiration on your army, and one that won't be immediately replaced. Codexes will return in time to replace the free rules. Right there. The free rules are temporary because codexes will return to replace them. But when they do, the complexity of the game won't increase, thanks to a one-in-one-out ethos for army and sub-faction rules. Effectively, you will only ever need your unit datasheets, the 2 pages of rules that govern your chosen army, available in your codex on cards or digitally, plus the core rules and whatever mission you're playing. Wow, okay, that's... So why would you want to get the book then? If it's on the card, why would you? So okay, so we got some corn berserkers there, and some cultists and some sisters of battle, and is that Abaddon or is that a demon? I think that's a demon. I can't really. I don't. We don't got time for this. Though there's one exception to note. The arcs of Omen books and boarding patrols will persist, so you can keep purging those Space Hulks into the new edition and beyond. That's right. The arcs of Omen books will persist, meaning they'll keep making them, but the ones that you have will probably not make much sense, but we'll see how it applies. Likewise, for those eternal crusaders out there who have built up a mighty host through their narrative games and want to bring their crusade army with them into the new edition, there are rules to let you do this. You can port it over. It's backwards compatible. Combat Patrol, a brand new way to play. Let's dive in. As well as continuing support for Crusade and Matched Play, the new edition will introduce a brand new way to play the game Combat Patrol. Wow! This version is designed to be easy to collect and easy to play. Combat Patrol pitches small, preset, and balanced forces against each other with armies made of the Combat Patrol boxes. You don't need the models inside, you just need the box. Look at all those options. And all of these are allegedly balanced against each other. Wow! I believe that. This simplified version of Warhammer 40,000 that's perfect for beginners, but also means that anyone starting a new force has a game that they can begin to play very quickly, without having to build and paint 2,000 points of troops, as is the bare minimum ever, before a dice is even rolled. It's also a great thing, subject, topic, or update, for hobby butterflies. Hobby butterflies who hop from one project to the next and prefer to sample a little of each army's nectar. Sample that nectar, my butterflies. This summer will be an incredible, exciting time to be a Warhammer 40,000 fan. Screw all the rest of you. What do you like, Star Trek or Mandalorian? Get out of here. This is for Warhammer 40,000. There is so much more to say. From tomorrow, we will begin taking an in-depth look at all the major changes and faction rules exclusively here on Warhammer Community, as well as investigating the units in an absolutely stacked launch box. Stay tuned and sign up for the newsletter. Okay, we don't need that part. Units with the battle line keyword can be taken up to 6 times, so your dream of a full Space Marine Battle Company army can still be fulfilled. Well, good, because that's pretty much all I'd ever want to do. All I would ever want to do is bring a battle company to the thing. There's a whole other page that we need to go back to. So let's go back to this other page. All right. Every single element of the game has been revised and rewritten from the ground up for an entirely new and more cohesive experience. Plenty of rules remain the same, but there is not a single one that has not been reassessed, and if necessary, rewritten to work perfectly in the new system. This is a genuinely whole new world of new Warhammer that's for you. Will it be quicker and easier to play? We've listened to your feedback and have taken on board all of the suggestions that we've received since the launch of 9th edition. One thing that repeatedly came up was the number of different books you currently need to reference while playing. Wow, it is like a stack. You are technically a dark librarian. Thankfully, the days of flicking through multiple books to find one rule is over. Datasheet cards for your faction now contain all of the information you need to play the game at your fingertips. And we've got some Dark Eldar here with like a plane and statue and some Imperial Guard. This is a lot like that Iron Within video, isn't it? Maybe this is the tabletop version of Iron Within. I didn't know that Iron Within had a tabletop game. I'm intrigued. One core design philosophy has governed all of the changes. Is this just the exact same as the last one? Is it? Well, whatever, we'll keep reading. Simplified, not simple. That's right. All of the rules for your army are now contained exclusively on a single double-page spread. There are also far fewer stratagems, relics, special rules, and things beyond that, because there are more things than that, to keep track of. Universal special rules are back in the game. It doesn't matter if you're making a dimensional translocation or preparing death from below. It's all just Deep Strike. It's all just Deep Strike. Core stratagems are also more reactive in the new edition, which means there's less waiting around. You get to play, they get to play, I get to play. Do you talk first? Do I talk first? How easy is it to get into the game? We know that not everyone has a full evening to spare, or has 2,000 points ready to rock, which is why we are introducing combat patrols. Wow. You and your friends can each grab one of the combat patrol boxes, download a set of rules that balances your chosen force against the other. So it will tailor it. If you pick one and your friend picks another, and you put it into the calculatron, it will then tell you what to put in and what to take out from the box. Wow, that is amazing. You'll have enough to play a quick, satisfying game against each other straight away. It's a game mode designed to allow new players to get started right away with any faction in the game, especially Chaos Genestealers. On for experienced players, or for experienced players who want to try a new force without feeling that they have to get a huge army. Well, that's a pretty big army right there, isn't it? Isn't it? How are combat patrols balanced? Let's dive into this. Combat Patrol is the new mode for Warhammer 40,000. It pits the contents of one combat patrol box against another, and it's a fantastic way to begin playing. How have the Warhammer Design Studio managed to balance different boxes against each other? Ghost. With great ingenuity. This really is a... Why do I keep kicking my keyboard? This really is a silky smooth way to dip your toes into the 41st millennium. We'll have a lot more on this new way to play in coming articles, including a deeper explanation of how the balance is achieved. They put a bunch of balls in like a bingo spinner, and then they open it up and they just pull out the units that you're going to use. Will my collection and codexes be compatible? No! No, they won't. But your collection will. Your miniatures aren't going anywhere. They're always on your shelf, collecting dust. You know it. And we'll have plenty more to say about what codexes will look like next week. Next week! Rest assured, you won't want options in the new edition. What? Rest assured, you won't be wanting 4 options. So you will be wanting options, but you won't be left wanting. Oh, we got the Angels of Death here, it looks like. Oh no, that's just Blood Angels and more Blood Angels. It's Death Company. Thought those were Dark Angels for a moment. The short answer to our universal special rules, universal. I'm Sean Connery now. Ultimately, the Warhammer Design Studio decided to have the same special rule under a dozen or more separate faction names. Had become a bit of a barrier to the smooth running of the game, not to least mention because many players simply referred to them by a single name anyway. Wow, Deep Strike, feel no pain. That's right. Fleet of Claw. Do vehicle and monster profiles still degrade as they take damage? More or less. Though the mechanic has been streamlined. It's been streamlined. Instead of 3 separate profiles, there's a single line on each unit card that will still act like this and explains any penalties incurred with a certain wound threshold. What is OC stat? These are my original characters. Objective control, for how good a unit is at holding a contested objective. Objective secured is gone. Enter the era of objective control. More very soon. Now the question on all of our minds. When can I get the new box and start playing? Exactly. There is still a bit of time before the new edition is released into the wild. In the meantime, we'll have plenty of news and reveals along the way. They said there were months left of the current edition. Months left of your codex to be able to use it. Months left. It is now the end of March. It will be rolling into April. After April comes May, then June, then July. That would be 3 months. After that, we would start getting into the fall. At the end of the summer, or during the fall, is typically when a lot of new releases or new editions would end up being dropped into the wild, so to speak. So I would be expecting, my best estimate is that Warhammer 10th edition will be ready by the end of summer 2023 and ready for your household and your army collection during the summer, end of summer. During the fall, it will be ready for fall, typically at the start of a new school year. That's kind of when that would start. So, new edition, Warhammer 40,000. Wow, wow, wow. I'm impressed. I am definitely impressed. So, new edition of Warhammer 40,000. Will you be getting it? Will you be avoiding it? What army will you start for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition? Let me know in the messages in the chat below. It's not a chat, it's comments. Let me know, and press the like button and then the subscribe button if you've not. Use the notification bell to make sure that you can tailor what notifications you want. If you want to get more of me and all of the updates available, hit that option, whatever that might be nowadays. I don't know, maybe you're living in the future. I don't know what things look like. I'm Slate the Space Marine. I am a Space Marine. And, yeah.